Good afternoon. I'm calling the Williamsburg Independent Board of Education July meeting to order with the roll call by Kim White.
Okay, John Harris.
Here.
Kim White, here. Kim Williams.
Here.
Donnie Patrick.
Here.
And Roger Faulkner.
Here.
And Pledge of Allegiance by Roger Faulkner.
Everybody please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence by John Harris.
Would you pray with me?
Oh, sorry, Donnie.
That's all right. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Sorry, Donnie. I am. I'm looking at the, oh, that's June, that's one. I need a new one. I don't have it.
Shauna, she needs a.
I don't have a, I was reading the wrong one. Thank you. No wonder. Sorry. The approval of the meeting agenda and minutes, approval of the July 16th, 2026 board agenda. Are there any additions or deletions?
Yes, I have an addition. The first one is we were looking at our approved school calendar, and to make sure that we listen to our staff and we take care of their needs, we had multiple professional development days built in. The calendar revisions that I've shared with you would not change anything for students, but it would give our teachers a few days off. So because we have dropped our calendar to 185, and teachers are required to get 4 days of professional learning, they're required to get paid for, they're only required to get 4 holidays, but we pay them for 5. And so we would like to change originally, the first change would be that Old Fashioned Days was a professional development day. It's September the 11th. Initially, we said that teachers would come in, students would not. We would like to give that off to teachers and students. That's the first change. The second change would be that we would keep our fall break the same, keep our Christmas break the same, and then July 1st or January 1st is a holiday. And then we would like to keep that January 4th a professional development day, just to bring our staff back in without students and kind of get us all back acclimated after the holidays. And then we would have the 18th, instead of it being considered a holiday, we would just give off teachers and staff, or teachers and students. Then February 1st was supposed to be a professional development day. We would like for that to just be an off day for staff and students. And then there are no other changes. We will keep spring break the same. We will keep the professional development day on April 23rd. The purpose of that day is to review all of our student learning data from the year, and then go ahead and do our mandatory trainings that are required for the Kentucky summative assessment, and just look at our testing schedules, things like that. In the past, we've had to do that in a staff meeting. Well, what it turns into is 2 long evenings for our teachers. So we would like to keep that a professional development day, just so teachers can come in and kind of get acclimated, and we do it all in one day. And then obviously we'll be off election day. Closing day will remain on the 27th, or last day for students is the 27th, and then closing day would remain on the 28th for staff. So by doing this, we still keep in there 171 instructional days, which is what we want. Teachers get paid for those 4 holidays. They get 2 additional days off throughout the year. We try to choose times when it just is long and drawn out, just to give them a break. And then we still get to end on time, and we get well over the minimum requirement of 1,062 hours. Actually, we have about 19 days beyond the required minimum amount. So we feel like this calendar will give us, it keeps students coming in the building the same time, but it also gives our teachers a little break on months that seem long.
And is graduation gonna be the same?
Graduation would still be that Saturday after closing day.
Okay. Are there any other questions regarding this?
Nope.
Okay.
So we will add that as action item number
Let's see.
number 8.
Okay. So we will vote on that during the action items. All right, are there other additions or deletions?
There is one deletion, instead of approving the June 15th minutes from the special call meeting on the 15th today, we'll approve the 8th minutes, but the 15th minutes will be added to the August agenda. And that's it.
Okay, so we'll be moving A to the action agenda today. We will be moving, leaving the B, and we will be moving C to August agenda. Is that clear with everybody?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, are there any other changes?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. We don't have to vote on that, do we? Do we vote on that, Kim? The
Does it
changes?
require a vote? Well, it's just
For
the
the
approval of the
changes?
agenda.
It's just the approval of the agenda?
Yeah.
I didn't think so, but, okay. Now we're going to staff and student recognitions, and the student that we're going to recognize is Chloe Sawyers. Hi, Chloe, welcome home.
1 second, we didn't vote to approve the agenda.
Oh, okay, well, that's what I was asking, yeah, okay. I'd like a motion to approve the agenda
I'll make
as
a
stated
motion
with the changes, okay.
with the changes.
And a second on that, please.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay, and the motion carries.
Okay, I'm gonna first read this about Miss Chloe. I'm gonna have 2 of our board members give Chloe her award, and then it's just to recognize that you're awesome. And then I want Chloe to share with the board members what she's been doing this summer. She has not been lazy. She's been doing lots of work. So, Miss Chloe Sawyers is she is an upcoming junior to our FFA chapter, and she is the new FFA president. So, Miss Shelley wanted to celebrate Chloe. She says, Williamsburg FFA is proud to recognize Chloe Sawyers for representing Williamsburg Independent School and the Commonwealth of Kentucky at the National FFA Organization Washington Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C. The Washington Leadership Conference is the National FFA Organization's premier leadership development event, bringing together outstanding FFA members from across the nation. During the conference, Chloe participated in intensive leadership training, explored the foundations of our nation's government and history, and developed service learning strategies designed to create positive change within her school and community. Her selection to attend this prestigious conference reflects her dedication to leadership service and personal growth, and we commend her for representing Williamsburg Independent School with distinction. Very, very proud of you. So, Ms. Williams, you want to give her that?
Yay. Mr. Harris, will you give that to her? And
She's going to speak to it.
you're gonna speak to us once you get your,
Okay, yeah.
okay, all right. And then a picture also?
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much.
Tell us what you've been doing there.
Thank you guys so much for giving me this award. It took a lot. I mean, it didn't take a lot, but I had to write out 3 big paragraphs and develop my SAE a lot to get into it. And on top of that, it was extremely. I don't even know. I did the math. It was like a what was it, like a 10% chance for me to even get in, because there were so many kids that applied. And when I got it, I was like, oh my goodness. Miss Shelley called my mom and was like, get Chloe to check her email right now. And I had got in, and it was awesome. I'm really, I've had a lot of support from the school and my community and my family, and everyone just helped me so much during all this. When I went, I got to see George Washington's house, which is like extremely beautiful. I got to meet a lot of new people. I got to meet our District 1 Congressman, James Comer. He was extremely polite and like nice. He took the time to come and see us. I got to see the Capitol. I got basically everything in D.C., like the Jefferson Memorial, all the stuff, the Abraham Lincoln Memorial. And it was so crazy to see it in person. Like, you see all this stuff on TV. I got to drive by the White House, too. I didn't get to, like, see it, but it was really cool seeing it in person. It's like a once-in-a-life, which I think we get to go pass by all that on senior trip. But it's like, for most people, that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I'm just so happy and grateful to have gotten that opportunity. Thank you guys so much.
We thank you for representing us so well.
I try my best. I do. Actually, all summer, I attended Hobie, too, which is a leadership conference, and, like, I've been doing stuff with FFA. I've been at the school. I'm going to be at the school, like, 3 days this week just for FFA, so we're on top of it. I hope to make FFA awesome. I mean, Zayden's already built me an extremely good, like, foundation, and I can just keep on expanding, and then whoever is president after me can just keep on expanding, and I just want this organization to be so awesome because it's so good for our school, and it's just awesome. But thank you guys so much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And thank you, Ms. Shelley. A special speaker, Jerry Heron, Athletic Director.
I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the issues we're having with some of our sports programs. Really, it's just a growing concern of mental health with some of our programs, and it's because of the imbalance that we're in the district that we're in. And I'll read through some of these numbers of what's going on in some of these sports. Like in boys basketball, since we've been in the new district since 2005, our season record is against the district opponents is 24-123, 16% winning percentage. In the tournament, we're 3-20. Girls basketball, we're 10-138. In district, we're 0-21. Baseball, we're in the regular season, we're 12-130. District tournament, we're 0-20. The softball, we're 12-130. In district, we're 1-20. And this district started in 05, and most of the people on the board, your kids went through this system while it was going on. Mr. Harris coached during all of it, and what it's done to us is it's caused I fear it's a mental health issue and apathy almost of the students, because if you look at like the sports that are classed, like Coach Harris was the coach here, I think they were first or second in the region every year that he coached, and then continuing now in track and cross country. And in football, we've been first or second every year in the district in all those years too. So it's a thing that we're looking for ways to try to get some equality. We've been in conversation with higher ups in the state, and we've not got a lot of, I guess you would say, sympathy or help, because I don't think anybody would trade places with us in the state. Who wants to get in that baseball district and take our place? I think it's the best baseball district in the state, and we're not really approaching it like it's a competitive balance. It's really a mental health for our kids. You watch these kids come off the floor of the court or the field after these games, and our average losses last year in the district were almost 60, and the average losses in softball and baseball were in the double figures all the time. And it's changed a lot of things. You look at like coaches. I know in our track and cross country program, I think we've had 3 coaches in that time in each sport. I think in football, obviously we've had 1, but in basketball, boys, I think we're on our 7th coach in that time. And girls is the same. In baseball, we're on, I've lost count of it, but it's getting close to that, 6 or 7. And it's caused a lot of turnover, and we all know when we have turnover in programs, it causes a lot of problems. So we've been trying to, and just to kind of put it in perspective, where we were before, let me pull my phone back up here, I'm a technology genius. Before all this played out, before they changed our district, Our combined district in all sports was 97-105. That's almost 50% wins. And our district tournament record was 17-23, 43%. That's because we were in there with schools our size and single A schools our size and things like that. And all of you, Donnie Bruce didn't have your daughter was here. She was here when it changed, but the rest of you were here. You know, I mean, it's tough, and it's affecting every sport. I mean, the numbers are down in every sport. We're just, I mean, let's be honest. Every time you turn the internet on, you see kids are transferring here, going there, going there. They've got their recruiting thing, their NIL stuff, whatever's going on. It's crazy, and it's affecting us in everything. And we've been trying to come up with many, many ways of trying to do something to help ourselves, to do something to help the mental health of our athletes. And one thing we started talking about, and I talked to several of you about this earlier, was, you know, obviously you can drop out of the district, but that's such a stigma. You can't, you know, it's a pain. So we decided maybe if we don't play the regular season games and still stay in the district and play in the tournament, that gives us a chance to build some wins and build some competitive balance going forward. So we've been kind of talking about that unofficially. Talked to some of the other schools, and everybody's been usually really receptive about it. And I plan on coming to talk to you earlier, but we had so much of issues going on, turmoil, and things like that. We didn't have a chance to talk about it. I have a chance to talk to you about it. Some of them have officially went and scheduled some games without us playing them. And obviously we can go back and fix that. We can do things like that, but we're trying to do it where we don't, you know, you don't have to pay the fees and all that stuff. But we're trying to do something to help these kids with a competitive balance and just willingness to participate. Because if you look at what happened in, say, boys basketball last year, when the season started, they had those 6 games in the regular season that they got beat over 60 points in every game. And then the tournament game, they got beat by 50. So that's 7 losses you start your season with every year. And it's been that way. You heard the numbers. It's been that way with the exception of 2 seasons in boys basketball. And even the years in girls basketball that we were going to the Final Four in the All-A, which were some remarkable years, those of us that went through it and lived through it, we still didn't win a game in the district. And we're going to the Final Four in single A in girls basketball, but we still didn't win a game in the district, in the tournament. So it's something that's been going on for quite a long time. I don't know if there's ever going to be a chance where the state's going to class the other sports. I don't know why they won't. It just doesn't make any sense to me. There is an agenda moving forward to class soccer and to start moving forward to classing them. But we've got to do something to help the mental health of our students. And one thing I think that we can do is you know, maybe not play those games in the regular season and try to play some smaller schools and give ourselves a chance. You still play in a district tournament, and you got a chance. So, you got any questions of me of the numbers or anything you'd like to ask me about it? I mean, most everybody here's lived it. I mean, we've all lived it. I know Miss Housekeeper, the years she's been here, she's seen it. Her boys played. You know, Mr. Faulkner. I mean, you coached those kids when they were little. You know, your sons were here. Miss Williams, you know, your boys played, and you went to Miss White. You know, your daughters were here cheering in sports they were in. So I mean, it's something that it's there's no quick fix. There's no easy answer, but something that, you know, the last time this happened, and those of us that were here, we tried to do something back in 2003 when it first happened, and it went terribly wrong for everybody. We had people get fired, people don't speak, don't talk, whatever. The bottom line is we're all trying to help these kids. That's what it's all about. It's not about wins and losses. If you stand there and you watch these kids come off the court, I mean, I think we finished the season with 6 players on basketball. Now, 2, you had some unhealthy kids, and one of the kids really wasn't healthy enough to even play. And, you know, I said, like, we're going through coaches. It's hard. We've got to do something. And I mean, we're at wits' end on what to do. Maybe not playing the regular season games is something we can try to do moving forward. And we've got some of that's happened already with scheduling. Some of the coaches of their teams and the ADs are really receptive. And we look at doing that. So any suggestions, any ideas, any questions of us trying to do to help these kids?
I know for a fact calling the state's useless.
I'm sorry?
I know for a fact calling the state is useless.
Well, I mean, I can't officially talk about that.
No, I can. So.
I would be interested to hear from one of our coaches too. Like, Jackie, do you have a thought on this?
Yeah, just coming up here and doing that, it's not even just after the game, it's prepping for it, going, all right, our girls go, oh, we'll be done in a half hour, we can do this. It's the way we approach it, knowing that we are going to have that issue. I mean, when you're getting beat in 3 innings, you have 9 at-bats, you don't even get through a lineup. I mean, it's tough to do that, and it's not for lack of effort on our girls. We don't have the draw that many have, but it does take its toll, and the last 2 seasons, it's hard.
Because we're competing with districts who have how many students compared to our 800 students?
Well, if you look at the football numbers, the teams in our district, you have a 5A and 2 very large 4As. You know, they're sitting there at 1,200 and more,
Right.
and we're sitting here with 250. I mean, it's
What's the downside to us not playing? I mean, are
I
those
mean,
forfeited games,
Well,
or
you could-
they?
You could, I mean, we're trying to
How
get
does that
everything-
work?
We're trying to get everything worked out where it's not a forfeit. We're trying to do everything to where we just don't play.
Who has to approve that,
I
Jerry?
mean, you meet with the other schools. I've got a meeting coming up in August to try to work on that with those other schools to see what the ADs, and of course, they've got to ask their bosses and things. It's a big process, but I mean, bottom line, we could have to play, we could have to pay forfeits, we could have to do all this. We're trying for that not to happen. We're telling you that this is something that we need to,
Keep working on it.
we got to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers aren't lying. And it's 21 years now, the numbers. That's 21 years. We originally did this last year, and it was 21 years. We added the 1 year, and it made the numbers even worse. I mean, when you start looking at less than 10% winning percentage in these things, and 0% in district tournaments, we've got to do something to help these kids.
Are there other schools in the state that are in this predicament, or are we singled out as the lucky ones?
I think we're one of the worst, in the
Yeah.
worst spot. Like I said, I don't know if there's a tougher baseball district. I'd be willing to bet there's not, probably besides a couple of Louisville districts that has the champ in it with Louisville with volleyball. And volleyball is a little different story because the programs are all so new, the numbers aren't there to use. So when I start looking at the numbers of volleyball, when you're looking at less than 10 years, you can't quantify a pattern. So we clearly couldn't use volleyball. And our volleyball team has been successful they've had some wins against South, but I don't think they've ever beat Whitley or Corbin. So they've had a couple wins against South. And, you know, talking to her coach, talking to every coach, I don't want to speak for them, but I have talked to them. All of them are in favor of it. I mean, volleyball, she's in a position where she's competitive and she's looking at, a little something different. But we're looking at ways to try to do something to help these kids. I mean, and the downside is, what's going to happen. They're going to destroy us wherever they destroy us about every little thing that we do. But in the end, if we do something to help these kids and we have a clear conscience that we're doing it for the kids, that's what we're doing, and that's the bottom line.
Have you reached out to KHSAA?
Yes.
And what are they saying? About not playing district games, not about our issue, the other issues, but just about, because they ultimately, I know that the district controls the district in terms of voting and those kinds of things, but all of that's turned into them, so they have an oversight component.
They won't officially talk to you officially about it. That's just what I got to say. They won't officially talk to you about it. You send an email, and it's just what it is. I mean, I don't want to talk bad. I'm on a spot where, you got a newspaper report. I don't want to talk bad about the KHSA. I'm not saying that. It's just unofficially we have no, this is what needs to be done. It's unofficially try to do this, and if you get this worked out, it'll be okay. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Because
In our softball, we have parents supporting this choice that we've talked about. We've talked to the parents in regards to that, and they've asked who they need to go to pick the hornet's nest about. I don't know, and if you might have heard, it's been a hard, challenging road to figure it out, but we have in our program parental support not to do these things, that we play in those schools right now. So, it's been discussed around them. I don't have official players saying it, but the parents representing the players are on board with the decisions we're making in that sense, to see if we can, something like that can catch the attention and shake up the district or things like that. So I don't even know what you can share.
I was gave guidance by someone unofficially of how to handle it, and we're trying to make that happen. And if it doesn't work, then we'll have to go back to playing the games.
guidance by someone at KHSAA?
Yeah, unofficially.
Are there any legal ramifications, Paul?
I think we need to get as much information as we possibly can. I'm in favor of doing anything that we can to give our kids the best opportunity to compete and to excel. I mean, this school has a long history of tradition and success through our sports programs, regardless of the fact that, we're a small independent school system. But I mean, when you throw us into a situation where we are having to compete with much bigger schools, schools with much larger enrollments, and quite frankly, schools with much larger bank accounts to fund their schools or their athletics programs, we're at a disadvantage. So
like I said, we've got a plan that we're gonna try to go with, and if it works out, we can. If not, then we'll have to play or take the forfeit and pay the fee. That's
I
where
mean,
we're at.
this would be a huge change for our school and the district.
Well,
So I just,
we,
you know, don't want to take that lightly,
Well-
when the decision's being made.
Right.
You know, for or.
what it'll
not.
change, I'm sorry, what it'll change is we just not playing in the regular season. We're still playing in district tournaments. We're just not playing in the regular season. We would agree to take the 4 seed, which we took every year but one. We've done it every year but one in one sport. We've done it every year but one in one sport. In the 21 years it's just been going on. We've been the 4 seed in every sport except for 1 year.
If we didn't play those district games, could we schedule another opponent? to
Yes,
play
anyone
those?
we wanted, anyone we want. Teams that are more our size, more whatever. I mean, it's just, I mean, just to put it in perspective, like I said, when I was talking about track, cross country track, I mean, they finished in the first or second every year. I mean, I think off the top of my head, the football record in that time is like 160 and 65. So, I mean, being classed matters. And there's a few players in this room that'll tell you, because of the fact that they've won games, they think they're always going to win. Even when we play the bigger schools, you know, you were there when we beat the 6A team out of Louisville, or Knoxville. Our kids didn't think they were going to lose. They had not going to lose. And it just leads to that. So if you don't play the regular season games, you automatically take the 4 seed. You still play in a district tournament. You just don't play regular season games. That's what we're looking at doing.
You can be in better shape for that district tournament maybe than what.
Well, I mean, yeah, it could be. I mean, we don't know what's going to
No,
happen,
we
but
don't
we
know.
think that we'll have more kids out. They'll have a better record. I mean,
More confidence.
it's a big difference in going, you know, 1 and 20 and going 12 and 10.
Yep.
I have 2 questions. The first one is, can you share with them explain the fee for a forfeit? Because you mentioned that in
Yeah,
passing, but I think for finance purposes, you all need to hear what that would mean if we did have to get to the point.
Yeah, if we got to
The
the point where
forfeit.
we had to forfeit, they're anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000, depends on what I can't remember off the top of my head. It's either 15 or 3,000. It's one of the 2 numbers. Some sports it's 15, some it's 3,000. So it's anywhere
Each
from
game,
that.
right? That
For
we
each
would
game.
forfeit.
Yeah.
And we would lose the gate, which is large,
If
for
you
local opponents.
Well, I mean, if you look at paying the 3, like say in basketball, you play Corbin, Whitley, and South here, usually the gate is larger for those games. Obviously, they're way larger when it's a competitive game, and when it's not competitive, it is what it is. I mean, we're still talking under $1,200 we're gonna lose, you know, under 2,000 tops for each game, if it's even that. I mean, what it's doing financially with the teams being where they're at is we're losing money in every game that we play now, with the exception of a couple district games. We lose money on all those sports in the game because of the gate, because of the competitiveness. I mean, you look at financially, if, like, just for an example, last year, I don't think we made any money on any gate with the exception of 2 of the district games. And the rest of them, by the time you pay the referees, pay the workers, pay everyone you have to pay, you know, you have to pay people to do the scoreboard and whatever, you know, you have to pay a lot of things. You're losing money, period. Now, is that because of competitiveness or because of who you're playing? You could say both. You know, if you're playing single A schools, are they going to be bringing a lot of people here? Probably not, right? If you're playing Barberville, how many people's in Barberville is going to be traveling to the game? You know, if you're playing South Laurel, how many people from London's coming down? More, because there's more people, right? But how many of them's actually coming down here to watch them beat us by 70, if that's the case? But if it's a close game, how many's coming? A lot, right?
Do you think we'd still be able to host the district tournament since we're in the tournament, maybe?
You know, I think so. I mean, who knows, you know, the rotation, there's a lot of maybes here. we've not got a lot of very good guidance. And I think a lot of it is because somebody's gonna eventually rip the lid off this Pandora's box of classification in the state with basketball and the other sports. And these schools like us doing things like this is gonna start more and more of the talking. I know, in the past, the newspapers and local media wasn't in favor of this, but I've talked to several of them now, and one of them actually haven't put all these numbers together. So it's something that they're starting to see, you know, we see it. And, what do you do? I mean, it's just one of those things where, you know, I mean, who would trade places with us? Just put it in perspective. Last year, we played Pineville in boys basketball. We lost by 1 on a last-second shot. We won 1 game, got beat all of our district games by more than 60. Pineville won their district. Think about that. That's where we're at.
I mean, KHSAA should have seen this back when they made the change. It only makes sense that that's what was
Well,
gonna happen.
Of course, it does to us, but, you know, it goes back to, we're a little fish.
Yeah.
And our voice isn't very big.
But there's a lot of little fishes.
There is,
in
but
the
we're-
next door.
Yeah, but we're one of the few fish that's in this big, massive tank. It's
Yeah,
you know,
our
drowning.
KHSA rep, the commissioner rep, what's he called?
Our Board of Trustees.
Board of
rep
Trustee rep is from
Russell
that other
Thompson.
district.
Russell Thompson is the,
Yes.
Yes.
he's our rep, he's our, person from
And of
here
He's the
course, he doesn't want
superintendent
us over there.
of Pine.
Of Pineville.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and he doesn't want us over there, so.
Well, you said that.
And then my last question is, and I think that this is the most important thing for everybody to think about. How will this be communicated? And as the athletic director, how will you make sure your coaches are communicating this to student athletes? Because you've got some kids that are very, very competitive. I live with 3 of them.
Yeah.
And how is that gonna be communicated in a way that still makes those highly competitive kids not feel like we're giving up on them, not feel like we are lowering the bar for them?
Well, that is obviously an issue, and of course, that's gonna be something that each coach is gonna have to be able to, with their personality and their ability to convey to their kids. You know, we have to get across to them that we have to win, we have to have a chance to really better our lives. That's what this is all about, is we're trying to teach them to win, not just to win, but to be competitive, work hard. We don't have kids playing. That's our biggest problem. They're not playing. And when you got 6 or 7 kids playing basketball, we got to do something. I was talking to Pineville's coach yesterday, football coach. You know, they've not won the district, been competitive in football. They're on the flip side. They had 15 kids show up to football practice because they've been finishing 3rd or 4th every year. They had 25 show up to basketball practice in the summer yesterday, but only had like 15 show up to football. So it's the flip side there. So I mean, we all know that the numbers are dropping everywhere in every sport and everything. I mean, you look at, it's harder to get kids to do anything now. It's hard to get them to come to school, get them harder to do anything. And why? Because everything in the world is right here. You can just sit at home and do whatever you want to do, right?
So mechanically, when would this decision need to be made, and what are you asking us
Really,
to do?
I'm really just saying that, you know, this is something that we have talked about, and we've reached out to a lot of the coaches, a lot of the ADs, and a lot of them have just went ahead and just, they said, the contracts are signed, they've tentatively set it up without us playing. And we meet in August, and I'll meet with the ADs and see if everything's cool, and I say, cool, everything's okay, we'll have a little meeting, vote on it, and then roll with it, if you guys are okay with it. If
So
you're not,
when in August, Jerry? Do you
I
know
can't
that
remember-
date?
I can't remember the date off the top of my head. It's in like
You
around the
said August
16th.
3rd or something
It's
like
on the
Okay,
that.
16th
so
or
it's
something.
before our next board meeting.
So I think what they're asking, and I don't know this answer either, is it a board decision? This is just more of an
It's a
informational.
Miss Parton decision.
Yeah.
It's a Mrs. Parton
That way
decision.
we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we're just talking to you so that when you're at McDonald's or you're at
That's
Walmart, somebody
exactly
comes up
right.
to you and wants to
Right.
put you in a
Yes.
headlock, you know what's going
Right.
on.
100%.
And we've got reasoning behind what we
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
do.
It's nothing set in stone. We've got some schedules set up without it. We've got some set up with it. It's in the process. We're working on it. I can't promise any of this is gonna work out. We just wanna tell you, and you know, it's illegal for me just to talk to you, but, you know, you gotta tell you all at once. That's what you got by the law, and Ms. Housekeeper said, we have to do this by law, and we're doing it, you know, the way we're supposed to do it, following the rules and doing like we're supposed to do it. It's just an issue that that I feel we just need to help these kids. I mean, if you've seen their face, if you're standing there and you watch them come off the field, I was being the AD, I work most of the games and I see it. I coach all the boys because just about all the boys played basketball, played football, except for like maybe 2 or 3. Baseball's the same thing. So I know them all well. Got them all in weightlifting class, got them all the time. I see it. The same with the girls, you see them and stuff. And it's just, Miss Horror can tell you, it's heartbreaking. I mean, and no, we don't want to just concede that we can't compete, but I mean, it's like the old thing, there's weight classes in boxing for a reason, right? Because you got the 200-pounder don't fight the 100-pounder. There's a reason why. That's kind of what we're in here. They've decided to class some sports, but not some other ones. Makes no sense to me. Why? Absolutely makes no sense.
I think Ms. Housekeeper had a valid question. What specifically, I mean, would it, how are you going to convey this? I mean, is it going to be a town meeting? Are you going to have individual coaches just put it on them? I mean,
Well,
because I think this is a sensitive issue, and I think we need for the community to understand.
I agree. And
So has there been any thought put into that?
of course, it's a big deal if you say, we can't compete. Are we saying we can't compete, or are we saying that we need, it's just two ways of looking at it. I mean, why does the state say that you need to be classed in some sports and not in the other?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I don't understand. There's a reason why they're classing us in football and classing us in track and cross country. Why is that? Compared to not doing it in other sports. It makes no sense. I truly believe the main reason is well, I probably shouldn't say, but it is a huge issue. The other side of the sword, yes, we're doing everything to help them. The backside of it is, are we giving up? Are we not fighting? But let's be honest, the numbers are what they are. When you look at the numbers, you're talking about one district championship in 21 years in basketball or softball or baseball.
I guess my concern is just, if we do, we've got to educate our community, and I don't know, I'd like to see a plan for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not mandatory that we have a plan, but I
Well,
just think that it's very
we've got to come
important.
up with a reason. We got to come up with I mean, we have to come up with a reason why we think this is what we need to do.
Well, it sounds like you've given it to us.
Yeah.
It's to take care of the mental health of our
Right,
students.
right, and that's the
So, I
whole
mean,
point,
that's
It's-
the reason. I just
yeah.
think that we need to express that.
Yeah.
Can we get a printed copy of the figures and the percentages
Mhm.
of all that?
Yeah, I was late sending one to Mrs. Housekeeper, but I've sent one to her today, so she'll forward it to you, or I can, whoever. It doesn't have the totals of this year added into it, but it has the 20 years, but I went ahead and added, what I told you today was 21 numbers. It was a
20.
20-year perspective.
20
So-
be fine.
So
I mean,
20, and then it's worse when you add last year because we got 0 wins last year, so it makes it worse.
I think this is an issue that our community feels deeply about and is asking questions, so this is a potential answer moving forward as well, how we can communicate, be competitive, and do what's best for our kids all the way around. So I appreciate the conversation and seeing what's best for everybody. So I think some of that, as we communicate to the community, I think it's questions they feel are asking as well. If there's, what can be done. So I commend everybody for looking that way and trying to answer that.
I mean, this is it's not a good subject. It's painful. Somebody's going to get the blame for it. If it goes bad, it's all going to be on me, which I feel like it's
But I
something
think
we
it's
need-
an attempt to
Well, I mean, we gotta
take
do
care of our
something that-
students.
Last time we tried to do this, it all went sour, and we know what happened. For those of us that were still here, I mean, it went bad the last time. But we've done nothing in 20 years, and the numbers aren't lying. When you look at
And things haven't changed.
It's not changed at all.
And we have made attempts with KHSAA,
Yes.
with the Board of Controls, to make changes, and it's fallen on deaf ears. As far as I know, I've been here 22 years,
I mean,
my
you
last
were in my
22
spot.
years.
Yeah, you were in my spot a few years ago. You tried to do it too.
And it really has fallen on deaf ears. And so I don't know other avenues either. I mean, I don't want to put this on our kids, but I don't know of other avenues either.
I
to
don't
get,
feel like
to
it.
get somebody's attention.
I absolutely
And I don't think that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We're
Yeah.
trying to care for our athletes.
Right.
But, hopefully somebody's gonna perk up and start asking some questions, dadgummit. It just makes you mad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think at all.
Real quick about our students, though.
I'm sorry.
I want to point this out about our students. You live it every season. You don't play Whitley. You don't play Corbin. Is that ever a conversation? Are our kids defeated by that? Because I think that can help. Whatever you did to build that awareness among your team can help.
Because we used to play them years ago.
Or we
Okay.
have played them.
We have.
It's been a
Since
long
I've been
time.
here.
No, it's been a long time.
Like, I'll say this, the last time we played Corbin, we beat them, it was in '04, we beat them. The last time we played South was in like 2012, we beat them. The last time we played Whitley was all the way back when I was in high school in 1987, we beat them that night. So, I mean, it's not something that's happened a lot. We did try to schedule a game with Whitley this past year, it didn't work out. For whatever reason, the contract didn't work out, didn't get signed, we were trying to play them. We would play Whitley. Most years, we would play Corbin and South. Right now, Corbin won't play us because they don't feel like there's any use in playing us because they're trying to be the number one team in the entire state. They wouldn't schedule us if there's no reason for them to schedule us. They wouldn't even talk to us because they're just not going to. Because we were there. We've been there, that team. It was only playing big schools for the RPI and stuff like that. We were them in 13 and 14. We wouldn't have wanted to play down either. Like, we don't play Jellicoe. We don't play teams like that because it hurts our RPI with this new RPI system. That's a lot of what's happening to us in football. But going back to the biggest thing about this is I don't want to put it on the kids, and I don't want to say anything about the kids not saying they want to play. It's not that. It's just us adults saying, we got to do something to help these kids. And this goes bad, it's on the adults. It's going to be on the adults, and it is what it is. I mean, I agree with what Ms. White said. It is a big change not to play in the regular season. I agree. And we've all lived through those games when it was competitive, and it was fun. It's fun being in that gym when that's playing and that's happening. It's competitive. We all know. There's nothing better than a district game when the band's going crazy, the fans are going crazy, it's packed, we all love it. But that's only happened 3 times in 21 years. That's where we're at.
I wanted to say, on the flip side of that, seeing these students in sports too, I think there are competitive kids that really might feel defeated, but on the flip side, they might feel like, hey, our school cares about us enough to fight for the equality. And so maybe that's kind of how you pitch it to them too.
I mean, if those of us that remember how it went last time, somebody stuck their neck out and it didn't work well for them. And, that could happen again, but we got to do something. It's like John said, what's happened in the 20 years? We've not had any progress. Nothing's happened to help us. It's gotten worse. The gap has gotten bigger. The gap has gotten way bigger. And if you look at just money that they have to spend on the programs, I mean, we can't compete with that. I mean, we know that. We can't. And that affects us too. If you look at our record, finances and things like that, our tax, it's just the bottom line, our tax base is.
Be very helpful if we had some information, and also, just so we can help with the communication. And then also, as soon as you have that meeting with the other ADs, if we have that information, because we are willing to help communicate, but we've got to have the concrete information.
I'd like to have the statistics for us and all like plus.
Yeah.
And
Well, if you look at the statistics just when I can read you this one that'll prove the old district. We remember what the old district was. There was mostly single A schools in it with a couple big schools.
Yeah.
So the old district, before they changed it, our district record back then, before they changed it, was 97 and 105. That's a 48% winning percentage. And that's when we was in with mostly single A schools. Our district tournament record then was 17 and 23, which is a 43%. So the numbers aren't lying.
No.
When we're in there at the single A schools, we're almost 50%, and we're in with the big schools, we're sitting at less than 1.
And when they changed, if I remember right, Jerry, when they changed districts, we were in a pretty good district then, and then there was another school threw a fit, and they changed us again, if I remember that right.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
there was
how
a
we
lot of
ended
things.
Yeah,
that
there was an
happened.
adjustment to the original district alignment back when they made this, what was that, 2004?
2004.
2000.
Yeah.
So they made an adjustment to the alignment in favor of the 51st.
I'm sorry, it was 0304. It would have been 0304.
In favor of the 51st.
So if you can look back and remember who was here and what happened and what we didn't do or did do, a little bit of it, we could have helped ourselves, but we didn't back then.
Yeah.
We didn't understand the ramifications. Like John said, somebody didn't want to be in the district they were in, threw a fit, got switched, and then it got us. That's really what happened.
And that's where the Board of Control member was in that area too.
Yeah.
So it goes back to this Board of Control member that this area is not represented very well and has never been, to my knowledge. Have we ever had a Board of Control member from Corbin, Barberville, Williamsburg area?
Not Williamsburg, not in my knowledge, my entire life, no.
Well, I certainly appreciate you bringing it to our attention, and like I said, we just really need to thoroughly understand it, which I think this has helped, so that we can help communicate this to the community, because it sounds like even with softball, you've already started doing that, but if they hear it from you and the reasons for it, and when I say they, students and parents or caregivers, then they need to hear it from us too.
Yep.
Because I mean, there's no vote on this, but I'm sensing that everyone is in favor of doing something to help take care of our, or at least attempting
Yeah,
to
we're
take care of
tempted,
our
we're tempted.
students.
And if
I
it
don't
doesn't
wanna
work out, it doesn't
speak
work
out
out.
of turn.
We're tempted. We just wanted you to know what's going on, keep you in the loop. I forwarded that to Miss Housekeeper, and she'll forward it to you, I'm sure.
Okay,
And they'll
that'd
have
be
all the
great.
numbers laid out, the percentages minus this year. And keep in mind that if you add the year that we didn't win and weren't competitive in anything, it makes the numbers even worse, so.
Okay.
My numbers here are just a hair different than that because I added up the new ones. But any other questions or anything?
We certainly appreciate you bringing this to our attention, and hopefully this conversation will help communicate that, some of the reasons for our trying to do this for our students. Thank you.
Yep.
Our next speaker will be Aaron Brock with WEA.
Well, before I get started, I just want to say that is without a doubt the most unfair district in the entire state. It's also the only district in our region that just has one 1A school in it. Every other district in our region has multiple 1A schools except ours. So, we got our support to do whatever for our students and our athletes, especially having a third grader that's going to be going through this. So whatever we got to do. But I don't really have too much to say other than it's July, so it kind of feels like the school year's already starting and the summer's flown by. As a teacher, that's, something you think about. We're just excited to get forward to a new school year, to welcome all the new staff that we've been hiring. I've seen all the posts. I've been out of town a lot, so I've not had the chance to reach out and set up meetings some of the new people, which I'm excited to do. But I think the most excited that we are is after the school year gets started, we can see the results of the state assessment for this past year, which is really the main thing I want to do. I want to brag on our teachers and our students because I feel like we really buckled down and did a lot of hard work, and I think we're going to see tremendous improvement in our state assessment this year. And I want to make sure that the people I represent know they did a fantastic job, and our students know that they did a great job, and we're excited to see these results come out in a couple months. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Aaron?
Nope.
Okay, Aaron, thank you. We'll move on to are there any persons that would like to address the board at this time? May the record show that there's no one present today that would like to address us. Let's move on to the consent agenda, which consists of the monthly financial report, treasurer's report, monthly balance sheet, May orders of the treasurer, which would be the monthly bills, and the fundraisers. We've been given this information. Do we have any questions for Dalton on this, or anyone else? Okay. May I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay, and the motion carries. We'll move on to the action items. Remember, there will be 8. All right. The first action item is the approval of an auditor's contract for the Williamsburg Independent Schools 2026 physical audit services to be conducted according to the Kentucky Department of Education guidelines. If you recall, this was discussed in the last meeting, and we decided to move it to this meeting so that Mr. Sizemore could come up with the information that we needed, and he has some new information to give us.
So the last time I spoke to you all, we just had one auditor out of the small handful of auditors that do school districts across the state. I presented for his audit firm, and then after leaving the board meeting, I got a call from another audit firm that said that they could fit us in our schedule. And I think that you all have been presented with both contract amounts. And as soon as you vote on one, we can sign the auditor's contract. I've talked to Jackie Chisholm at the state, as well as Marshall Smith, and once that gets signed, I could send that up to them so they can go ahead and send it on to the state auditing committee.
Do you want to say who it's with?
Yeah, the second one that reached out was Cloyd and Associates. They are out of London. They do several school districts around this area. They're a good firm, as well as Montgomery and Company, who I presented on last board meeting. And they have a pretty solid record as well.
Yes, they're well-known and been around a long time.
Yep. Is there any other questions about the auditors?
I'm glad we're getting somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody I reached out to with such short notice was either full or they're already starting to downsize, which kind of makes me happy that we found somebody that we can go forward with, as long as they do well, because it makes me nervous for future audit years if everybody's starting to downsize and kind of get away from the school audits.
So make sure you tell them the cost. I think it's important. that
Yeah,
that's
so
in the minutes.
Cloyd and Associates, their costs, both increased their costs just on short notice, fitting us in right at the end of their already packed schedules. Cloyd and Associates came in with a cost of $24,500, and Montgomery and Company, where we're also on short notice and on the right on the line of his travel corridor, he come in with a quote of $27,000.
And how is that different than our previous auditor?
All the auditors for this year were about the same in price. I think Shad and Allen Associates was coming in right around $25,000, if I remember correctly from our email correspondence.
And whoever we get, probably a little bit cheaper next year.
The next year, they both said that it would be cheaper, but
with the late notice.
with the late notice and
Sure.
fitting us into the schedule. I will say, in addition to that, both would sign the initial extension request form to KDE just in preparation. We're one of the last districts that they'll be looking at, but both of them are very confident that they would have it in before the deadline.
Do we have a suggestion that would be looked at in a form of a motion for one of these firms?
Whichever one he recommends.
I would recommend Cloyd and Associates.
I'll make a motion for that.
Okay. So in that case, I will accept a motion for Williamsburg Independent Schools to contract with Cloyd and Associates out of London for this coming school year audit. Will you make that motion, Donnie?
Second.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, well, you'll make that motion?
Yep. I'll
Okay.
make the motion.
Thank y'all.
And
Thank you.
can I have a
Thank you.
second on that? A second on that?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no, and the motion passes. Thank you for your work on that. I'm looking forward to having a timely audit. Let's move on to the approval of the annual contract between Williamsburg Independent Schools and Kid Guard Scholastics Insurance Company. Do we have any questions regarding that?
Something we do every year, huh?
It's just that it's a supplementary insurance that if a student were to have an accident during one of our sporting events, or if they just got hurt playing on the playground, what it does is it provides a secondary insurance, so you run it through your primary insurance, and then they submit a claim, and they could get reimbursed for it through the Scholastic. So it cost our district about $11,274 for this year, but it covers all of our students.
Are there any other questions on that? Okay. May I have a motion for us to engage with Kid Guard for this coming school year?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. And the motion carries. We'll move on to the third item. Approval of the 2026-2027 Pledge of Collateral Agreement for Public School Funds. Do you have any questions right up front? And otherwise, I'm going to have Dalton just briefly speak to this.
You can see I gave you guys a rationale there. This is a state requirement for all school districts to have an extra layer of protection.
Yeah, so kind of just to summarize it, the pledge of collateral, is required from KDE for any banks holding public school funds, and it essentially assures the safety for the taxpayers that your educational funds are secured, and the FDIC is only $250,000 per account. Obviously, school districts hold more money than that in their bank account. That just it's a layer of protection past that $250,000 FDIC limit.
Are there any questions for him? Okay. Then may I address a motion for us to engage in the approval of the Pledge of Collateral Agreement for this school year, this coming school year?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay, and the motion passes. Moving on to approval of the revised 2026-2027 Emergency Management Plan. This is something we do every year. I spoke to our safety coordinator about this, and he was saying that it just needed some clerical things, basically, and that he has gone over it quite thoroughly, and I've had a couple of conversations with him, and he certainly answered the questions that I had.
Who is our safety?
Dr. Brad Miller, or DPP.
Brad Miller. Yes. So if there are no questions regarding that, may I have a motion to approve the emergency plan?
Motion.
In a
Second.
second, okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. And the motion passes. The next item is the approval of the revisions to the 2026-2027 Virtual Learning Handbook. We have gone through different stages with the virtual handbook, but each year I think we tweak it to meet our students' needs even more than the year before. If there are any questions regarding this, I think Ms. Housekeeper could probably answer most of those because Dr. Miller is actually in a meeting today in Corbin. Any questions? No. All right. May I have a motion for us to approve the virtual handbook?
I'll make a motion.
And a second, please.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. And the motion passes. Donnie, did you second that?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move on to the sixth item. Approval of memorandum of agreement between Williamsburg Independent Schools and Brenda Sears. Do we have any questions on that? Ms. Hale is here if we have anything, but I don't think that there are any changes really.
It's used the same one we did last year, right?
Yeah, she just provides our psych evaluation.
Yeah, and this is something that is required for our special needs kids, so, okay.
I like that at the bottom.
May I have a motion for the agreement for us to engage with Brenda Sears?
Motion.
And Donnie says yes. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay, and the motion passes. I was gonna say we got one. Okay. Oh, there it is, and then we have the eighth one.
And then I have something else I forgot.
Oh, okay. Okay. The next is item 7, approval of first reading the KSBA recommended revisions to Williamsburg Independent School Board's policies and procedures. This is something that KSBA does for us every year, and this year has definitely had some changes in it. So this, keep in mind, this would just be the first reading. Do you have any questions at this point?
Everything that was highlighted is the changes.
Happy reading.
I know, I went through it
2
already.
weeks, I read 164 pages, so have
Yeah.
fun, guys.
All right. If there's no questions at this time, I do encourage you to not fall asleep when you're reading this, but it is important, and this is a document that we, definitely need to
I will
look
say
at closely.
this one is super important because there are some major changes since the legislative session. A couple of them you're gonna see in there that they have brand new financial transparency requirements for every district in the state, things that the public should be able to go to our website and be able to find. Also, I would like for you to read about the traceable communication, that there's new rules with that, and last year we opted out of a couple of, we made some decisions to provide some leniency, but the state has kind of mandated how we're going to operate that, but also there's some changes to some forms. There is a financial timeline that you guys are going to be given, and it's all red. If you're talking about the edits, it's all one big, it's a completely new policy. So there are some important changes that impact you and your decision-making. There's actually a couple of changes in the powers and duties of the board policy, and it's just the language, but also I think it's important for you to know that. So these are important changes. They came straight from the legislative session.
Do we have any questions at this time?
Nope.
All right. May I have someone entertain a motion for the first reading of the policies and procedures?
I'll make a motion.
A second, please.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay, and the motion passes. And we will need those on the August agenda.
Yep.
All right. And we need to add 8. So I don't have the actual, how I should say that. Okay.
School calendar.
Thank you. This was the addition, or from the revision from the approval of the agenda. Approval of the revisions to the 2026-2027 school calendar. Those were explained earlier. Are there any questions regarding that?
Nope.
All right. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
And a second, please.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay, and the motion passes. And Ms. Housekeeper, you had something to add before
Yes.
we,
And I'm not sure how it got left off. We've talked about this for 2 days, but it was kind of hot off the press. We have 2 buses that right now will not pass inspection. They're too old to pass inspection. So our Director of Transportation is in the back of the room. He's been working with Dalton, who's also been working with just multiple fiscal agents to help us figure out the best possible plan. We know that we do not have enough money to buy a bus outright, but guess what? We can't have school if we can't get kids to school. So they have worked on, they get all the credit for this. They have worked really hard to come up with a plan that would be manageable financially, but it also would provide us an opportunity to get a new bus that can transport our students. Right now, just to give you perspective, we only have, is it 5 buses that transport our students? Okay, 2 of them won't pass inspection. How many bus routes do we have?
We have 5 bus routes.
Okay, we have 5.
It would put us where, right now as we stand, we have 4 big buses in our little short bus that we purchased last year. That short bus is now gonna have to run a route the way we stand right now.
And it only holds how many students?
58 student route.
So they would have to run the route twice.
Yeah, you'd have to, I mean, that
They would
means.
run that route twice. Right.
Yeah, and what that means for the school day is schedule changes. It becomes a scheduling nightmare for Ms. Parton. It puts our families at a disadvantage. And while we know that we don't have additional funds this year, we have to get children to school. And so this has to be a priority, and so Dalton knows our financial situation. We have just enough to cover what we need. We don't have any extras, but he's worked out a plan to help us get that, so.
Yeah, so when this was brought to my attention, the first thing that we had done was reach out to RSA. They are financial advisors, but they also had the KISTA program, which is your bus loan program. And I presented the situation to them where the window to apply for KISTA is not open yet. There's no way to get around that until later on in the year, but we need a bus, now. So Scott has reached out to Boyd Cat, who we purchased our last bus off of. They order more than the schools that had put in orders for, just for emergency situations like this. They have some buses for us. They're holding one based on the decision today, but they have a financial option. It would be through Daimler Financial, through Boyd Cat, and I have put the sales quote and the loan. It'd be a 10-year loan at 6%. So the payment would be $29,275 for this year. I went ahead and put that into our working budget, and then doing some further talking with RSA to kind of see our options on payment. We still do have some escrowed funds in 320 that could pay off that bus. However, escrowed funds are tricky. You can't just move those out. They have to be now on a category 1 or 2 of your district facility plan. So we've kind of went through some different avenues of how to pay that off, so we're not paying a 10-year loan on 6%. And it would be to contact the school facility construction commission to potentially forego our $3,000 a year for the next 20 years for their offers of assistance for the construction fund. That would ultimately open up those escrow funds to be able to pay that bus off with those funds that are already in our system. But it's going to take me a little work to navigate that with her. But for this upcoming year, for FY '27, I have allocated the $29,275 for the first payment of this bus through Daimler. But I'm hoping to end up paying it off at the end of this year, beginning of next year, if we can free those escrow funds up. And if there's
When
any
will we
questions
know
on that. That's my next big task after this, getting the working budget set up, and then I'll be contacting Christy Russell through KDE to see how we go about that. I mean, it's $3,000 for the next 20 years. Our bonding potential does go down a little bit, but on 9.4 million, I believe currently what our bonding potential is, it'll still be within $9 million. But the ability to open up those escrow funds to be able to pay that bus off is kind of my avenue on paying it off instead of paying on a loan for 10 years on 6% interest.
So am I understanding that you're asking us, because this is the first step in the process, this has to happen first? Is that what?
Well, we have to have a bus. So
Right.
the loan, Nick Couch from Boyd Cat already has one of those spare buses aside. They're holding it for your all's decision. If you go with the loan, we'll sign the document, start that loan process, get that underway. We have enough money in general fund to pay that $29,000 for the year. But before the year's over with, I'm hoping to have that settled with the School Construction and Facilities Commission to open up those escrow funds from previous years that were locked up, and and pay that off essentially at the beginning of next year.
So he's asking if the only action today would be that you would approve the bus loan, and the benefit of that is we wouldn't have to spend the full $217,000 for a bus.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that to spend.
Yeah, and I believe, Scott, it's an 84 passenger bus. So it's a big bus.
Is this a new bus?
Yes, yes, ma'am. And it would replace one of our oldest buses that
Didn't have heat last winter.
that we're afraid wouldn't pass inspection due to rust on some of the frame of it. And it'd be about $30,000 to rebuild that in hopes that it would pass inspection.
Do,
We don't have no choice.
I don't think so either. Well, we need to transport our kids.
Yeah, and without the loan and ordering a bus and waiting towards the end of this year to get in the KISTA loan program, you're looking at them ordering a bus, building a bus, shipping a bus to us, so you're looking at a year and a half.
And
maybe.
if we tried to, it was my understanding from talking to Scott about this issue that if we even try to limp the others along, it's still gonna be
Yeah,
a lot of
and-
money,
and they
and
pose
we
no-
have still an old bus,
Yeah,
two
they have
old
no
buses.
financial advantage to us anymore. After the 10 years, we don't get
Yeah.
the depreciation money through the state SEEK program. Even with this new bus, we would start getting that depreciation money,
Yeah.
not on the first year, but the years following. Every year, we would get a straight line depreciation amount added
we
into
have
our SEEK
any-
transportation.
Do we have any more questions regarding this? I mean, it sounds like they've really done their research.
Yeah, that's no choice.
All right, may I have a motion for us to contract between us and is it Daimler Bus Loan Company for the purchase of a new bus? Someone make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second on that?
Second?
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay, and the motion passes. Thank you for your research on that, and we will appreciate being updated on that. That ends our action agenda, and now we need a superintendent report.
Okay, I shared this with you guys already, but we have had a whole revised set of superintendent standards. So moving forward, superintendents are only evaluated on 5 standards. What they've done is they've combined a few, and now the standards for superintendent evaluation include strategic leadership, instructional leadership, cultural leadership, human resources, and operational. And I love the new standards because it gives you 3 pieces of evidence for every single standards that you should require from me. You should expect those from me. And Jenny Forgy, who works in Paul's office, has provided a really amazing document that spells out exactly with dates and exactly what you should be seeing from me. So the very first one is the Comprehensive District Improvement Plan. That will have a new version before January 1st, but you should expect from me a copy of that by September 30th, and I've already given it to you, so you have that. And then each board meeting, you should expect some piece of evidence from me so that that is poured into the evaluation system.
I've read through this, and I really feel like it, I don't know who did it, but they did a good job at condensing
It's a
some
big
things down.
improvement.
Yes, it is. It is a good improvement. Do we have any questions at this time on that? I'm sure as we delve into it more, we'll have more questions. All right. Is there anything else right now, Ms. Housekeeper? All right. Could you give us some dates just on when school starts and those kinds of things for the community?
Yeah. We have communicated this to families already, but we're excited to bring back our staff beginning August 18th. Actually, our certified staff will come back on the 18th and 19th. We'll have some professional learning. And then our classified staff will come back on the 20th. August 20th from 4 to 7 p.m. is Back to School Bash. And we always love that. We actually have several things planned. We've got lots of different ideas for that. And Ms. Parton has been actually out on she's had a training, but we have sketched out a plan for what we want to share with our families. And then the first day of school is August 25th. And board members, I always like to invite you to August 24th, which is opening day, if you'd like to come and say anything that's going to pump up our staff and make them feel excited about this year. Our theme for the year is It's a Blank Canvas, Paint Your Story. So it's a start over for us. We're starting from scratch. We want this year to have a brand new, fresh start and begin writing our story again, rewriting it.
All right. Do we have any questions for Ms. Housekeeper at this time? Okay, thank you. Taxes report from Dalton.
So I got some tax updates and then some financial updates for you all. For the month of June, we didn't collect any taxes for the month of June this time last year. So everything I'm going to read off is just what we've collected for this year so far. For June, we've collected 11 bills totaling $19,265.18. Collected prior to June, we collected 1,502 bills totaling $1,201,906.35. Altogether, to close out the FY26 school year, we collected 1,513 bills totaling $1,221,171.53. 11 bills are exonerations totaling $15,259.39. There's still 244 bills outstanding, totaling $80,700.15. And as the year wrapped up, as compared to last year, our collection percentage for FY26 was 86.74%, and then the year before was 86.79%, so it's just a difference of 0.05%. We've stayed right along the same trends, the same highs in the same months, and the same lows in the same months. Getting on top of delinquent taxes has been a huge help. We have people constantly coming in and out, and The last time I checked, we were somewhere in the $30,000 to $40,000 range of delinquent taxes from 2020 up to now that we've collected, and that doesn't include the ones that I've taken in the last few weeks, which people have been pouring in the last few weeks, paying those delinquent taxes.
We certainly appreciate Mr. Curley's office on this.
Yes.
Thank you, Jenny.
He's been
Thank you,
a
Paul.
huge partner on that, and I can't thank him enough for it. And as far as some finance updates, Stephen came down last week to help us close the year, roll it into FY27, and help me get the unaudited annual financial report sent up to KDE. We were able to successfully close out the year, got FY27 rolling in Munis. I have submitted the unaudited AFR to the state with no errors, and we ended this year with a fund balance of $253,410.78 to the good.
Any questions for Dalton?
Nope.
Dalton, thank you.
Thank you.
Staffing updates from Ms. Carrie Ann Hamlin.
Hello, guys. So it was reported last week by a community member that we had 15 resignations last month. I wanted to correct that. We actually had 14 internal promotions and transfers. So that's current employees who have moved to a different role within the district. And then for new hires, we have 9 total new hires. Those are refilling people who have left positions or people who were non-renewed. So our total number of departures were 12 for June and July, and our total number of retirees were 3. And we have 3 current vacancies that will be filled within the next couple of weeks.
So the departure's 12 and plus 3 on the
And then 3 retirees.
retirees.
Yes.
Are we still in line with what we're, with
Yes.
the saving?
Yes.
What we're saving?
Yes.
So the board approved for Ms. Parton's staffing according to the staffing allocation, 43 teachers, okay? That's not counting like assistant principal, any additional, it's just classroom teachers.
Yes.
And last night, me and Carrie confirmed a big old check mark, we have 43. So that's the number you all need to ask me next year, is like, how many teachers do you got? Because we have created a pretty strong internal system that we have a vacancy tracker now. So we do not add another position to that vacancy tracker unless it comes with board minutes. And the only other way that another person would come in here is that it would replace a resignation or a non-renewal or something like that. It's either gonna replace the 43 we have, or the board will approve for additional teachers.
Hopefully next year, financially, we'll be in a different place.
Yes, we will.
Do we have any other questions for Carrie? Thank you very much.
I also want to point out, you know, when we say numbers, it is hard to give the full story. We can't forget that now we have Mighty Oaks. So those numbers also get put into there.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. And when she says departure, sometimes it could be a sub. Sometimes it could be a part-time sub at Mighty Oaks. Sometimes it could be that sub left Mighty Oaks and went to be a bus driver over here. And so those are actual resignations, but it doesn't mean that they've left the district always.
And also, I did not include this on my report this time, but we did have 10 new student hires. Those are being paid through Learn and Earn. And actually, you will see them out here today, probably as you leave, and they will be loading food into the vehicles for our summer feed program. So if you guys see them on your way out, please make sure to thank them, because they have worked extremely hard this summer. They work 24 hours at an actual placement, and then they come here and they give 5 hours of their time just to help Miss Dean in the cafeteria.
Thank you.
Do we have any board reports?
How did the ribbon cutting go yesterday?
The ribbon cutting was great. Actually, it was, I mean, Donna Bruce, I think you should share. I think it was more heartwarming than I even expected. I feel like it's very clear that our mission and vision is being played out. It is a service to the community.
Yeah. No, I'll just echo that. I thought we had a great turnout and, different entities, including members of the community came out. So to me, it was even better than I expected as far as the turnout. And so I think that's
agree.
just confirmation we're heading the right direction. And I think the school was well represented from Ms. Housekeeper and staff and others, and as well as University of Cumberland. And we had some church people, but we had community people.
Yeah.
So it
We
was
did.
it was a positive thing and good confirmation, affirmation, I think.
I hate I couldn't be there. I would like to. I just forgot all about it.
That's okay.
And our newest board member just attended the KSBA Summer Conference and started his journey of getting his hours. And so we're appreciative that you've gotten on that quickly. There will be, just a reminder, the fall meeting, just the local meeting will be, is it in September, I think? I don't remember, maybe October.
It's always cold. It's cold.
Yeah, September, late September or October. And then also there'll be the December meeting, or I think it's the conference, the first weekend in December. So, all right. Do we have anything else that needs to be brought before the board? Okay. May I have a motion for adjournment, please?
I'll make a motion.
And a second, please?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. And this meeting's adjourned.